1798. This thing is like, what, 221 years old. Hey everyone, it's Silverseeker, and I'm really excited to do this video, guys. In fact, what is in here, in my opinion, is one of, it's a beautiful collection. It's one of the most beautiful collections I have personally ever seen. Obviously, there are better ones out there, but I have been lucky enough to be able to get my hands on this to share it with you. Now, full disclosure, this is not mine. I know somebody who owns this set, and I, again, have been blessed with the ability to show you this set here on camera on the channel. And, I couldn't pass up the opportunity. So inside this Dansco slipcase here, we're going to slide this out, guys. What we have is a completed Dansco Album United States Type Set. Now, what I will say about the Dansco Album United States Type Set, it is not a 100% complete typeset. It's not every single U.S. type coin. However, it is all major U.S. type coins, and it is amazing to have one complete, especially in the condition that this one's in. Now, not every single coin in this set is flawless, not even close. But there are some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful specimens in here. And again, this entire album, every single page is complete. Every single coin slot filled. They are all here. And additionally, you can hear the plastic on the side. We actually have a couple of extras that don't have a home inside of the album that we're also going to share with you. So I will start out by apologizing for the length of this video because it's going to be a little bit as we go through this. We're going to take some of them out, show them to you under the coin scope, and guys, it's going to be worth your time to watch this. If you're interested in U.S. numismatics at all, this is an absolute beautiful, beautiful set and a great video for you guys to watch. So again, let's take a look at it. And guys, do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel because it does help me out. Alrighty, guys, so we're going to start off on the first page. Now, it's a little bit dark at the top. You're going to be able to see these much closer under the scope, so it doesn't look the best here. But we do have, obviously, we have the draped bust and the classic head and the coronet head of the half cents. This is just page one. And then we have, obviously, your large cents. You have the draped bust, you have the classic head, you have the coronet, and you have the coronet with the braided hair. And then his collection of Indian and Flying Eagles for this typeset is absolutely beautiful. And this 09 VDB here, guys, is an S VDB. So that is really cool. All right, so let's take a look at some of these up close. We also have, obviously the steel cent. We have just your typical Lincoln Head Memorial cent. And then he has a nice two-piecer here, and then a really nice 3-cent silver, and an incredibly nice 3-cent nickel right there. So we're going to go ahead and get started with page one, just so you can kind of see just this absolute gorgeous set right here. In fact, when it's a little bit lower down and that light's reflecting on it, you can really see this. So let's go ahead, let's get the coin scope out. So we're going to go over to we're going to get the coin scope up, and we're going to pull out gently. Now, some of these are a little bit loose inside the book, so we got to be really careful. We're going to go one row by one row. We don't want to overdo this. And we're going to start with our 1800 to 1808 draped bust. And let's get the whole scope up, guys. All right, we're going to put this beautiful coin under the scope. Oh, my goodness. Look at that, guys. You got your 1804 draped bust half center right there. And it is in insanely beautiful condition. Yeah, it has problems. It's not perfect, but man, is it gorgeous. For a coin this age, just to look like this. And look at that, guys. Instead of saying, it says half cent in the middle, but at the bottom it says 1/200, because it takes 200 of these to make $1. Just, that is incredible. Okay, next up, we have the classic head half cent here. So this is 1834. You can see it is in gorgeous condition. You got the full Liberty and all the detail on the hair. 1834 for the date. The stars still have the dentals in them. You see the radial lines. I mean, not dentals. The dentals are on the outside of the rim. The radial lines of the stars, they all exist on this beautiful piece. So right here, you got United States of America half cent. You got the wreath around half cent. It doesn't have the 1/200 like on the other one, but man, that thing is gorgeous. Okay, the third piece we have in the set, this is the 1854. This is the coronet. That is a really, really nice piece right there. Just absolutely gorgeous. Again, I'm blown away that I get the opportunity to share such a beautiful, beautiful coin set with you. And this 1854 coronet half cent is just gorgeous. Flipping it over to the reverse, it does look like there's a little bit of nick there in the center above the N on the word cent. I don't know what that's about. It's unfortunate. Or I could just be looking at it wrong because I'm looking at it under the scope just like you are. But man, this is such a nice piece. Look at the detail on this, just gorgeous. Okay, on to large cents. We have the 1805. This is the 1805 large cent. This is the draped bust. This is a very beautiful piece right here, just gorgeous. You know, the history in this, I tell you, with these coins, if they could talk, it makes you wonder what they would say. So looking on the reverse, it does look like we have a little bit of corrosion to the left of the wreath right here. It's hard to see till we move it around in the light, so we'll just, you know, kind of right here. It's not too bad though, but that's beautiful right there as well. What a beautiful piece. Okay, next up we have the 1810 large cent. This is the classic head variety. This is another beautiful 1 cent large cent right here. Just another beautiful coin. Again, it's not perfect, especially with this older copper. You know, there's always some problems. I mean, not always, but a lot of the times you have a little bit of issues with it here and there. But man, this is a beautiful piece. It's not struck completely centered, but it's nice. It is very nice. You know, I don't see any major problems with it. Just a beautiful, beautiful piece of copper, a beautiful piece of history. Okay, next up we have his 1835 coronet. Now this one isn't the most impressive piece in the collection. It does actually look like there's a little bit of copper damage to it. Or I do apologize, that's an 1838 there. But, you know, it's nice history and, you know, it's part of the set. And, you know, you see some red shades in it. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with the color of it, but it is a very beautiful piece overall. Just, you know, it has a couple of problems. But it's a very, again, the history in these things, I mean, if they could chalk. Okay, now this one is impressive. So this is the 1856 coronet with the braided hair. Guys, look at this. Gorgeous. I mean, this still has luster all the way back from the 1850s. This coin still has luster on it. Man, oh man, look at that as I tilt it in the light of the scope. Let's check out the reverse of this beautiful piece. Just being really gentle. It is on a soft piece of plastic here, guys. It is not getting damaged. Oh my goodness. This one needs to be sent off to be graded. Wow, that is absolutely stunning. Like I said, there are some beautiful pieces in this set. This one right here is amazing. Okay, guys, well, that covers the half cents and the large cents. Next up, we're going to take a look at some of these beautiful small cents here, starting with this flying eagle onto both of these Indian heads, all three of them actually, and then this 1909 SVDB. So let's get started. We'll get back over to the coin scope after we pull these out. I'm going to slide this out right here so we can get access to these beautiful, beautiful coins. Okay, guys, there we are under the scope. This is the 1857 Flying Eagle cent. This has beautiful luster. What an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous coin right there, guys. Anybody would be happy to own something like this, myself included. Alrighty, here is the reverse. It does look like there's maybe a little bit of wear there, but I don't know. That could just be a weak strike as well. But there it is, guys. Look at that. Just a beautiful, man, there's still luster there. That is a beautiful 1 cent 1857 Flying Eagle. They only made these for a couple of years. These are very rare. And in this condition, they're very rare. Okay, guys, next up is this 1859 Indian head. This is the laurel wreath variety. Oh, man, look at that. That Liberty is absolutely gorgeous. You have luster all over this uncirculated, beautiful coin. Gently flip it over to the reverse. Check it out, guys. We're going to rotate it with the plastic here. All right, check that out, guys. What a beautiful, beautiful cent. Man, these things are absolutely gorgeous. He has some beautiful coins. Okay, guys, next up we have the 1864 Indian head set. And this is the copper and nickel with the oak wreath. There, it looks like, I guess that might be, yeah, that looks like a little nick there to the left of his nose, but other than that, man, I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. It's completely full of luster. I mean, it's most certainly an uncirculated piece. Flip it over to the reverse. You know, just an absolutely gorgeous coin with almost no problems on the reverse. Just besides that one nick on the front, man, this is another insane piece in this type set. Okay, now guys, look at this. This is the bronze oak wreath. the beautiful part about this absolutely gorgeous Indian, and once again, it looks like there's like a little bit like a nick or something to the left of his mouth right here. We use a coin arrow. You can point and see what I'm talking about. But there's luster all over the place on this coin. It's just another beautiful example. Now, guys, what I really love about this coin is what you're going to see when I flip this over. Yes, yes, that is an S mint. So he did not go and get any Indian head for this slot in the Dansco. He went and got a 1909 S Indian for the slot. And oh man, look at this beautiful, beautiful 1909 S Indian. Okay, now we're looking at the 1909 S VDB Lincoln head. This is the 09 VDB variety. Obviously, they had the 09 and the 09S, and this one is where the VDB is on the reverse. Now, there is, you know, some discoloration on this. I don't know if it's from being in the Dansco all those years that kind of gave it that. That is not scraping. That is actually like the coin changing, like toning in certain spots and not in others. Now, I don't know 100% what caused that. I couldn't tell you if I wanted to, but let's go ahead and take a look at the reverse. You know, you can see the VDB down at the bottom. I'll try and tilt it without my fingers getting in the way. All right, there we go. So you can see the VDB down there gleaming next to my finger. So again, we have a 1909 S VDB. Now the reverse definitely has that coppery color to it, like that dark brown color. Well, it's actually more of a light brown, honestly, looking at it from what I'm seeing. But this, you know, this discoloration here, I'm not 100% sure what caused it. I know what can cause it, but I don't know 100% what caused it, you know, to have that finish. But I've seen it before, and it doesn't really kill this coin at all. I mean, it's still absolutely beautiful. There's no copper problems at all, just, you know, some discoloration here. But, you know, another beautiful 1909 S VDB. Okay, guys, so we are going to skip, just to save time, we're going to skip this one. Now, this is just a regular 1918, just to fill the bronze wheat reverse. This Lincoln steel cent here, man, this thing's absolutely gorgeous. This is definitely an original finish. This is not a re-zinced steely. What a beautiful piece. Let's look at it in a scope. Why not? Okay, so we're looking at this 1943 D steel cent. This is an original finish. Look at the luster. This is not a re-zinced one. This is the original finish from 1943. Man, I just imagine being, you know, an adult in 43 and walking around and just having these in your pockets. I mean, just how cool is that? I wonder what would have happened if they would have stuck, you know, with these being steel, you know, from 43 here on. Just, man, that's a beautiful piece right there. It looks silver, but obviously it's not. It's steel, zinc-coated, gorgeous. Okay, next up we have this 1864 2-cent piece. I skipped over the Lincoln Head Memorial reverse. There was no need for it. But this is an 1864 In God We Trust. Very, very beautiful piece right here, guys. Look at that. It's got some color to it. It's very pretty. I really like this. You got a lot of luster in the you know, between the letters and around the edges, around the twos and stuff. And it looks like it started the tone and color in like the larger parts of the field. And just a very, very pretty coin. Okay, so our next coin up, this is an 1860 3-cent silver. Some people call these trimes. Some people call them 3-cent dimes. But the truth is, it's a 3-cent silver piece. It's got a really cool design, but it's so small and so thin that not only did people lose them, but people bent them quite often. So to have one in this nice a condition, and look at the toning on the reverse, what a beautiful piece right there. Okay, guys, and finally, and to be honest with you, this one's going to be a little bit hard to tell under the scope, but you can kind of tell as I bend the plastic here to move it around in the light. Guys, this is an 1888 3-cent nickel proof. Yes, you heard that right. This is an actual 1888 proof 3-cent nickel, and it is, oh man, that is an absolutely stunning proof right there. Just gorgeous. And this is the last coin on page 1 of the book. but man, oh man, that thing is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, everybody, going on to page 2. Now we are looking at our capped bust half dime, our Liberty seated half dime. We have the Liberty seated half dime with arrows, and then we have the Liberty seated half dime with the legend. All of these look to be in great shape. We're going to pull them out. We also have our shield nickel, so take a look at these. We got the 1866 to 67. That's a shield nickel with rays. And then we have the 67 to 83 no rays. We have the Liberty head no cent. And we have, obviously, the Liberty head with cent. And, of course, we have our 1913 Type 1 Buffalo, as well as our Type 2 Buffalo, which can be anywhere from 13 to 38. And then we have, just our Jefferson, so 38, and on, our 42 to 45 silver. And then we have, on the dimes, we have our capped bust. We have our Liberty seated with stars. We have our Liberty seated with arrows, the Liberty seated legend, the Liberty head, also known as the barber. We have the Mercury dime, and then we have our Roosevelt dime and our proof Roosevelt dime. Well, it's just supposed to be the clad in there, but it looks like he has a proof in there. So on the page 2, we're going to get going on these. We're going to take a look at some of these under the scope because, man, once again, just an absolutely gorgeous collection of coins right here. And we want to get some up-close looks at some of these because, man, they are awesome. Okay, guys, so we have our 1834 capped bust half dime right here. And this has a beautiful tone going on around the outside edge. If you look at the stars around the outside, just absolutely gorgeous. This thing is in absolutely insane condition. And flipping over to the reverse, oh man, we have that same tone around the outside. I think this may have been in the Dansco album for a while. Maybe that's how the tone came about. Maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, that's a very beautiful piece right there. I love it. Okay, for our first Liberty seated, this is the 1840 Liberty seated dime. Does have a little bit of color to it, but not too much. It doesn't look to be worn pretty much at all. Maybe a little bit of rub on top of the knee there, on top of the head. Which is where the first places you would look for wear if you were grading this. We are not grading them today. We are just admiring the set. So on the reverse, we have United States of America half dime. Oh man, that's a pretty one right there, guys. Look at that. Okay, guys, next up, we have this beautiful seated half dime. This is a seated half dime with arrows variety. Now, the arrows were put around the side of the date, right here, and that was to denote the fact that there was a reduction in the weight of the coin by around 7%. That was from the Coinage Act of February 21st of 1853, and the reason they did that was so that you knew when you got your coin that it did have a reduction in weight, because the coins were held to the standards back then of having the value of the metal be the value of the currency. So that's why they did that. This is a very beautiful piece right here. Looks to have very little wear on it, just a little bit above the knee there. And then on the reverse, you got, half dime, United States of America. Gorgeous piece of history right here. Love this one. Okay, next up, we have our Liberty seated with legend. This is the 1871. Now, this is in insanely good condition. It's actually got some toning around the outside, around the edge, around the United States of America, around the year 1871, as you can see. Flip it over to the reverse. And there is the half dime in the wreath. This is a very, very good condition half dime. Just absolutely beautiful. And, just another one of these beautiful varieties right here. I just love it. Okay, next up, guys, we have our 1866 Shield Nickel. This is the rays variety. You can see In God We Trust. 1866 there at the bottom, shield in the center. Very cool. On the reverse, of course, you have the rays and the stars. And of course, it says United States of America, 5 cents. Very cool, guys. Another beautiful piece out of this type set. Okay, next up, we have another shield nickel. This is the 1868. There were no rays on this one, but it is a very nice 1868 shield nickel. Beautiful piece right here. We'll flip it over to the reverse. You can see the difference there. You see no rays between the stars right there. Man, there's full radials in those stars, just full dentals on the outside rim. It's just a gorgeous piece. Okay, so here's the 1883 Liberty Nickel. Now, this is the no cents variety. This is the most common of the two. With the no cents variety, the reason that they switched it so quickly is they realized that on the reverse, there was nothing denoting that this was 5 cents and not $5. There are stories of shysters called the racketeer nickel that would actually gold plate these and try and pass them off as a $5 coin when they first came out, because merchants weren't used to seeing them. They would see them in gold. They would see the Roman numeral 5 on the reverse, and you would assume it was a $5 piece. So you would buy something, you know, a little bit cheaper than 5 cents, 4 cents or 3 cents. You would hand them this as payment, hope they would give you the change back. You know, that's what the story is anyway. It's unproven as to whether or not that's true, but that is the story of the Racketeer nickel. I'll probably do another video covering that in the future. And here is a 1907 Liberty nickel. This is a gorgeous one with a lot of nice color to it. And then on the reverse, you'll see this one does say cents on the bottom of the coin. It's a nice looking piece. Okay, so next up we have the 1913 Buffalo nickels. Now he chose a 13 for his Type 2, even though you can get a Type 2 all the way from 13 to 38. So you can get something a lot more common, but he chose his Type 2 to be the 1913 as well. And if you are curious as to what the difference is, we're going to flip these over gently like so. So taking a look at both of these coins, you can see right here, this is the Type 2, and you see how the word 5 cents is kind of indented into the coin, like the mound is kind of in cuse. And the reason is if you look at this one, even though this one right here is uncirculated, I mean, look at the horn here on the Buffalo, just a gorgeous piece. Right here, you can see that 5 cents already looks kind of weak. Plus, it's sticking up such a high spot on the coin that it wears off so insanely quick. And that's why they made that adjustment. Now, one thing they should have done with these when they switched over to the Type 2, and they did not, is they should have also indented the date. Because if you look at the date, and it doesn't matter which one, it's hard to see just because of the way the light's hitting. But if you look at the date on these, they also stick way off of the coin. And that's why you have a whole lot of dateless Buffaloes, because those dates just wore off so fast. So why they didn't also switch the date when they did the change to the Type 2 is beyond me. Okay, so we're going to skip over the Jefferson nickels for obvious reasons. The Jefferson nickels you still see today. But we're going to move right on to this beautiful capped bust. This is an 1833 capped bust dime. 1833 right there. This is absolutely in gorgeous condition. It's got some dark toning to it on the outsides, but as far as condition and wear is concerned, I mean, when you're looking at these, you're going to see a lot of wear up here on the cap, on the top of the hair right here, and this is just a beautiful piece. Very, very nice. Flipping it over to the reverse to take a look, check out this eagle on the reverse of this beautiful capped bust dime. You know, very little, if any, wear on this. This could even be considered uncirculated. This is a beautiful, beautiful capped bust. And I wanted to show you really quick that the coin scope doesn't always do these coins justice. So if you look at this as we tilt it in the natural light, it looks significantly better than it does under the coin scope. You just can't see the detail as well. But that is beautiful. It almost makes me want to restart this video and show all these coins in their glory like this, because it looks so much better like this, even though you can't see the details so much. In fact, honestly, I think from here on out, what we're going to do is we're going to show them like this first. So guys, right now we're looking at this. This is an 1847 seated dime. This is the Stars variety. Very beautiful piece right here. All right, there it is under the scope, 1847. Beautiful details on this. Very little wear, a little bit of wear on the breast and on the head, so it's not an uncirculated piece. You can also see the wear on top of the legs here. So I'll show you right here. This is kind of your high points. So it's going to wear here, it's going to wear here, right here, and then right here first. And, you know, there's definitely some signs of wear in this coin. So it's not an uncirculated, but it is very, very beautiful. What a beautiful 1847 dime. Okay, next up is the Liberty seated dime with arrows. These have arrows for the exact same reason that you do on the half dime. Here it is under the scope. You can see the arrow is around 1854. It does have a little wear on those high points, you know, top of the leg, on top of the chest, above the head, or like on top of the head, but not so bad. Definitely AU as far as wear is concerned. On the back, it's an O mint, and it is a beautiful one as well. Okay, finally for the dimes, this is the 1876 seated dime. Now this is the Legend variety, and what that means is it says United States of America around the outside, and on the reverse, very cool. Let's take a look under the scope on this beautiful piece. There we go. So you got 1876 right there in beautiful condition. Again, just a little bit of wear on the high points that we have already pointed out. Don't need to show you again. Flip it over to the reverse. So it's got some color. Guys, look at this. I didn't realize that. That is a CC. So this is actually a Carson City seated dime right there. And it is in nice condition. Okay, guys, on to the next page. Now we're starting to get into the bigger pieces, which are going to be a lot easier to look at with the regular camera, and we'll put some under the scope still as well. But we have all of our, you got your 20-cent pieces, and then your quarters, and then your $half, and there are some beautiful pieces here. In fact, right here, guys, this Liberty Seated is a proof. So we have a lot to look at with this page. But again, we have our Liberty Seated 75 to 78. Then we have our capped bust right here as well from 31 to 38. So before I go, this Liberty Seated right here, this is your 20-cent piece. Then we have the capped bust quarter from 31 to 38. Then your 38 to 65, no motto Liberty Seated. Then your 53 to 55 with arrows for the same reason I talked about earlier. And then we have our 66 to 81 motto. And this one right here is proof. It is absolutely gorgeous looking on the reverse there. We have our Barber. We have our Standing Liberties. We got the Type 1 and 2. We have our Washington quarters, which we won't really spend any time on. Then, down in the $half, we have this beautiful capped bust, 07 to 36 lettered edge. We have the 36 to 39 reeded edge. Then we have our Liberty Seated right here, the no motto, then the arrows, then the motto, and then our Barber as well. So look at these beautiful pieces. We're going to take some up close looks at those. But just to keep you watching, guys, on the next page, look at the stuff that we have to look at. Look, we got our Liberty Seated dollars, our trade dollars. We have some U.S. commemoratives right here. We have some gorgeous $half up here that we won't spend much time on because we see these designs a lot more often. This down here, this Morgan, this is an 1883 CC. Look at that luster and the color of that. That is an actual Carson City right there. So we're going to look at those. On to the page after that. This we won't spend much time on at all. We have this is U.S. silver dollar commemorative and a silver eagle, and then just a little bit more common stuff, bicentennials, state quarters, etc. And then on to the final page, guys. We have our gold. So you have the gold dollars, the quarter, half, and full eagles, as well as the double eagles. So very, very cool. Some other stuff to look at here with the gold. All right, so let's get back over to the page that we were talking about. We will flip back over there and take a look. We are going to start with our beautiful 1875 to 78 Seated Liberty. Let's go ahead and slide the plastic out here so we can just get this out. And man, I just want to be super gentle with this proof over here because I got gloves on, but I still have to be really careful in handling, a proof coin, even with gloves. And you do not touch these coins without gloves. You guys would be crazy. All right, so here we go. This right here, guys, to get started, this is the 1877 Seated Liberty. Very, very beautiful piece. It's got a lot of nice looking luster to it. All righty, here we go. 1875 Seated Liberty. This is a 20-cent piece. And really, really cool. 1875, flip it over to the reverse. They only made the 20-cent piece for a couple of years, guys. It did not go over very well. It is an S, so we got an 1875 S. That's the most common, but it is a nice 20-center, and it fills the slot in the type book, and very, very cool. Okay, on to the capped bust. So right here, guys, this is a capped bust. This is 1831 to 38. It's a beautiful piece right there. Very, very gorgeous. Ooh, that's got a pretty large rotation. Check this out. So we're going to flip this over. Look at that. That's about 30. That's about 45. That's about 40 degrees rotated. So really neat. Really neat. So let's take a look at this under the scope, guys. Okay, under the scope, here's our 1834. This is the capped bust quarter. And look at this. We're going to flip this straight overhead. And bam, look at that rotation. Again, about 35, 40% there. 40 degrees, I should say. About 35 to 40 degrees rotation. Really, really neat piece. Okay, next up we have our 1861. This is Liberty Seated with motto. A very, very beautiful coin right there. Man, this still has a whole lot of luster to it. Look at it gleam. On to the coin scope, 1861. Look at the radials inside of those stars. Absolutely gorgeous. Full dentals. Little wear, if any, on top of the legs and the head and the chest. Flip it over to the reverse. You got $quarter right there. With these on the reverse, when you're looking at wear, you're going to start right here, and right here. And, there's very little wear, if any, on this. This is another beautiful piece out of this collection. All right, next up we have this 1854. This is a seated quarter as well. As you can tell, it is the Arrows variety. Once again, like I said earlier, that's just denoting that there was a lift in the weight, so it was about 7% lighter than the previous ones, and that's just to let people know. We'll check this one out under the scope. It does have a little bit of wear. It is not uncirculated, but here we go under the coin scope, guys. So we do have, you know, some wear on top of the legs, on the chest, and on the head. Always the first places to look. And we'll flip it over to the reverse. And you got some significant wear right here. So this is definitely a circulated piece, but man, it's a nice Liberty seated quarter with arrows. Alrighty, guys, on to the next one. I have to be really gentle with this as it's a proof. This is absolutely beautiful. This is an 1872 proof seated Liberty quarter with motto. And what that means is on the reverse, there is a banner flying above the eagle that says, "In God we trust." Oh man, guys, look at that beautiful piece right there. Obviously, it does have some scratching in the field. I mean, this is probably going to get a PR62. Maybe a PR63 if it were sent off to be graded. Wouldn't go higher than that. But it is an absolutely beautiful piece, and one that I think he should have graded for sure. Again, I didn't like taking it out with my gloves. Don't worry, it does look like there's metal under here for it to scratch, but you can see we have plastic over that metal, so it is not being damaged being on here. I got gloves on so that none of my finger oils are getting on any of these coins. And, you know, with a proof like this, you really want to be careful not to do that. So, very, very beautiful. Man, I love looking at that one. That thing's gorgeous. Okay, guys, now with the next one, I went ahead and skipped over the barber. We see barbers all the time, but I wanted to show you these. So we actually have two standing Liberties. We have a Type 1 and Type 2. The beauty about it is they're both 1917s. So that is the year you could get both. Now, there's a couple of differences here, and I did a video covering this a while back. So the first thing we're looking at is the breast. So they are bare-breasted on the Type 1, and then on the Type 2, you can see, although honestly under the scope, it does kind of look like it's bare-breasted. That's actually covered with chainmail. If we, let's move the coin arrow out of the way. If we just kind of tilt it, you can see that she is actually wearing chainmail right there. It's covering her up, whereas on this one, you can tell that she's completely bare. Now, let's flip it over to the reverse. There's another huge thing to look for with these. So we'll flip this over, and we'll flip that over. And on the Type 1, if you look at the eagle, it looks like it's really low to the ground, and then all 13 of the stars are on the sides right here, whereas on the Type 2, they actually complained that it looked like the eagle was coming in for a landing. On the Type 2, they put some stars under the eagle, lifted the eagle farther off the bottom of the coin, so it looked like it was in flight. So you still have the 13 stars, and this one does have a little bit of toning that's kind of taking away from what we're looking at. But you can see that there are stars under the eagle right there, and then all 13 of them are spread out between here, here, and here. So that's the difference between the Type 1 and the Type 2. And these are both beautiful, but man, I tell you what, that Type 1 is insane. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous coin. Okay, so now we're moving on to the half dollars, guys. Pretty excited about these. We're going to go ahead and start right on with the 1807 capped bust. So we'll pop that out. And let's take a look at this. This thing is absolutely in gorgeous condition. It has amazing luster on it. On the reverse, look at that. Oh my goodness, guys. We have got to see this one up close. But man, just looking at it in this camera right here, that is insane. Okay, there we go, guys. Look at this. 1834, beautiful condition, capped bust. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. There's not much more to say about this other than wow. And we'll flip it over. And there we go, guys. On the reverse, you know, we're looking for, you know, wear in a bunch of different places, and we're not finding it pretty much anywhere. Just, that's beautiful. I love it. I love it. And one thing I will point out with this capped bust, which I did forget to mention, is this is the lettered edge variety. So it actually has writing on the edge of the coin instead of the reeds. And they changed that around this time period or so because people were actually shaving down the edges of the coins and pocketing just a little bit of the silver. You do that with, you know, 1,000 coins, and it actually adds up quite a bit, which is why they started reading the edges so people could easily tell that they had been shaven. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We're going to pull out this one. This is the capped bust 36 to 39 with the reeded edge. Look at that, guys. It actually has some toning going on around the outside edge. It still has beautiful luster on it. Flip it over to the reverse. That eagle is gorgeous. And of course, this is the reeded edge variety. And there it is under the scope. Just absolutely beautiful. Man, I tell you what, some of this stuff is insane. It does look like there's a little bit of something going on up here, but that could have been just from when it was struck. This is a beautiful piece. Alrighty, next up we have the 1859 seated Liberty $50. This is the no motto variety, so there is no "In God We Trust" on it. It says United States of America $50. Beautiful piece of silver right here. We'll take a look at this under the scope as well. 1859 is the date. There is a little bit of, major scratching about right here and right here. Looks like possible gouges. As far as wear is concerned, I mean, it's still the same typical high points. You have the top of the head, you have the chest, you have the top of the shoulder right here. Usually on these, you also have a little bit of wear here. And then, of course, on top of the legs and knees, there's really no wear on this at all. So outside of a few scratches there on the reverse, you do have quite a bit of scratching going on. It looks like it was handled. It almost looks like it was cleaned, but I mean, the scope really brings out stuff that you don't normally see. So I'm not going to say if it was or not, but it's a very nice piece nonetheless. Very gorgeous. Alrighty, next up we're going to take a look at the arrows. So here we go. This is an 1853 seated Liberty $50 with the arrows. Now I'm not going to, well, I guess we will. Let's go to the scope because there is something about this I want to show you, which I really like. Alright, so onto the scope. There is definitely a little bit of wear, on the higher points in this, and that's all right. Here you can see wear on the top of the hair and, of course, on the chest. And like I said, right here on the hands, a little bit on the shoulder, but beautiful nonetheless. Of course, you have the arrows down at the bottom, so we'll use our arrow to point at that arrow right there. That's just, again, just denoting that it's lighter than the previous years. Now, flip this over to the reverse, guys. This also has the rays on the back, so I really like this design. That is really cool with the rays. I thought that was neat. So this is actually the arrows and rays variety. I just wanted to share that with you because it's cool. Okay, next up, guys, we will pull out this one. This is the Liberty seated with motto. This one looks to be an 1872. And then onto the reverse, you can see it has "In God We Trust" in the ribbon above the eagle. We're not going to put this one under the scope. We've already seen this coin. But what I will point out, look at this, guys. As I tilt it, look at the luster on this thing. That is all original luster, all the way from 1872. How amazing is that? And we're going to go ahead and skip the barber, even though, well, I tell you what, we're not going to put it under the scope. We've seen plenty of barbers, but I'll just put it up here because, guys, this is a very nice barber. You can see full Liberty in the headband, 1906, and then onto the reverse. That's a beautiful barber half as well. Okay, guys, so next up we have the $50 and silver dollars. I pulled the slips out in advance, and the silver dollars, as they typically do in these Dansco albums, kind of just fell through a little bit. Behind it's just, more page, so as long as they don't hit any other metal or another coin, not going to hurt them. We are going to take a look at the $50. Now, we're going to skip over the Benji, we're going to skip over the Kennedys, but I do want to pull this Walker out because this Walker looks absolutely gorgeous. I want to take a look at that. Just kind of up close. We're not going to coin cam it, but we just want to focus in on that because it has absolutely beautiful luster. Now, this was a very nice piece to be chosen for the set just because of the way it looks. That luster on that is really gorgeous. So really nice choice to fill that Walking Liberty slot. That is beautiful. Now, we do have 4 commemorative $50. These are really cool. So we have the Arkansas commemorative. We'll take a look up close. So this is the Arkansas commemorative $50. These actually carry quite a bit of value. Very beautiful piece right there. This one right here, if I remember correctly, is the... Yes, this is the Oregon Trail. So this is the 1936 Oregon Trail commemorative half. Very, very nice. I love that one. And then here, you guys will like this one a lot. I love this piece. This, and we had another coin fall out, the 64 Kennedy proof. All right, this one right here, guys. This is the 1934 Texas commemorative $50. Beautiful. You got the eagle in front of the Texas star. Onto the reverse, that looks like an angel in front of the Alamo. And that is an absolutely gorgeous piece of silver. We've actually seen this in a 1-ounce round, this design. So really neat. And then we also have this Lincoln commemorative. Oh, I just want to be careful. I don't want these to fall out. They fall out so easily. and you just got to be careful that they don't fall out and hit another coin. That's the biggest thing. All right, so we have this beautiful 1918 Lincoln commemorative. This has a insane luster on it. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and get these back in there and get the slips in there so that keeps them from falling while we're looking at the dollars. Okay, now onto the silver dollars. We're going to start with this beautiful one. This is an 1860 seeded Liberty silver dollar. Very, very gorgeous. On the reverse, it's the O. This is the no motto. And what that means is there is no ribbon above the eagle that says, "In God we trust." Alrighty, here we go with this beautiful no motto under the scope, 1860 seated Liberty dollar. There's just a little bit of wear going on around here on the breast and top of the head. Nothing going on really down here. Maybe a little bit of flatness on this knee right here. The only big thing I see on this piece right here is right there. There's that little nick. I'm not sure what that's about. Let's go ahead and flip it over to the reverse and take a look. And, oh man, absolutely gorgeous. You got your O mint mark right there. A little bit of wear on top of the wings. So this is typical for like an AU. Very, very nice piece. Okay, guys, next up we have our 1869. This is the Liberty Seated with motto. This is actually a very beautiful piece as well. It does have a shine to it. It's possible that it's been cleaned. I don't think it's a proof. You can see there's a little bit of darkness around the outside of the stars, which is kind of typical with something that's been cleaned, but I'm not going to say for sure. It's certainly not my coin. It's just absolutely beautiful. I will tell you that there's a lot saying that it's not clean, but there's little hints here and there that kind of tells me that it is. Either way, this is a beautiful 1869 seated Liberty motto. And again, the motto that says, "In God we trust," on the ribbon above the eagle. Silver dollar. Okay, guys, next up we have this 1877 trade dollar. Now, this thing has a whole lot of luster to it. Look at that as I kind of move it around in the light. That is gorgeous. And if we flip it over to the reverse, oh man, that is a absolutely beautiful 1877S trade dollar. That is gorgeous. Man, that is such a gorgeous piece right there. Okay, now the next one, I really wanted to show this to you guys because it's just, this is so nice. Look at the luster on this 1883 Morgan. Now, this 1883 Morgan also has the distinction. Oh, look at that. If I tilt it, it's white in the camera. It just reflects all the light. Look at that, 1883 Carson City. Now, as far as Carson cities are concerned, 1883 is a common date, but it's still a Carson City, so it's still rare. And in this gorgeous condition, I mean, holy smokes, that thing is blast white and absolutely gorgeous. And then finally, guys, as far as the silver dollars are concerned, you just got to take a look at this thing. Oh man, this is a 1928 piece dollar, and look at the luster on it. This is a beautiful 1928 piece dollar. This is the key date of the piece dollar series, and this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Alrighty, now if you remember, before we got into this book, I said that there's some things in this album that just aren't there. Looking at the silver dollars, you can see that the silver dollar starts at 1840. Obviously, there were silver dollars before that, so what's missing? Well, there's a lot of stuff missing, and we don't even have it all. Remember, we just said that this was a complete Dansco album type set. However, we do have this to show you today. Wow. Guys, look at this. This is a 1798 PCGS VF20. Try and focus it in just a little bit better. VF20 Large Eagle Silver Dollar. 1798. This thing is like, what, 221 years old. PCGS certified as VF. This thing is worth well over $2,000. Again, these aren't mine. I'm happy enough. I'm happy to be, lucky enough to be able to show these and share these with you. I just wanted to share the set, but I had to show you this. Man, that's gorgeous. Okay, now we're on to the next page. This is page 5. We're not going to pull any of these out, but we have the bicentennial silver set right here. We have just some modern U.S. coinage. So you have a Susan B., you have a Sacagawea, you have the statehood quarters. He just picked, this looks like it's the D-Day commemorative silver dollar for the commemorative silver dollar slot. And then for American Silver Eagle, that is a 1996, so it is the key date. 1996 commemorative or American Silver Eagle uncirculated. So we're just going to go past that really quick, flip over to the final page. Now, I'm not going to pull out the small gold. It's just too easy to bend it, and I don't want to be responsible for causing any damage to these gold coins. We've already pulled enough of these out anyway, so I think what we're just going to do is kind of go over them, and we will focus it in as best as we can so you can really see what we're looking at here, just like so. Okay. So we have, your gold dollars. Now, not everything is here. We're missing the $3 and $4 gold pieces. Again, this is a Dansco major type album. This isn't the entire type set. There are a lot of things in this that just aren't here, but we do have the dollars. So we have the Liberty Head Type 1. This is 49 to 54. And then we have the Indian Head. This is a Type 3. So there's actually a different type between these. That's not even in the book. And then we have your major quarter eagles, so your Liberty and your Indian. We've seen these before. We have our half eagles. And what a half eagle is, guys, if you're wondering, an eagle is a $10 gold piece. So a half eagle would be fine, a quarter eagle would be 10, and that would explain why they call double eagles, because they're 20. All right, so we have our half eagles, we have the Indian head and the Liberty head, and then we have our eagles, so again, the Liberty and the Indian. And then finally, we have our double eagles, your Liberty Head, and the St. Gaudens. And we'll look at the reverse of those by flipping the page over. So there it is. Very, very cool. Let's flip it this way so you can kind of see them standing up, or straight up, I should say. So there's your pieces, guys. That is our Dansco album major type set. Now, a couple of other pieces he said I could show. I already showed this. This is our PCGS VF20 1798 large eagle silver dollar. We also have this. This is a PCGS XF40 small letters bust half dollar. This is absolutely gorgeous. Flip it over to the reverse. Check that out. We also have, this is an 1809 half cent. Now, it's hard to see with the darkness here, but it is PCGS slabbed VF35. It's just hard to get the light to gleam on that without just completely reflecting off of the case itself. But we had that to show you. And then finally, we also have, this is the 1853 No Arrows VF25 PCGS slab that he said I should show you as well. Obviously, I'm most impressed by these two pieces. Just those are gorgeous. Of course, the 1798, and then, this is really cool as well. So that was really fun. It was a very long video, and if you guys are still here, let me know in the comments that you're still here all the way at the end, because holy cow. But it was worth it to share this history. So thank you so much. I'm not going to name his name, but thank you to the person that allowed me to make this video with your gorgeous typeset. I hope I returned it to you as beautiful as I got it. He did say that I could take the coins out so long as I wore gloves, which I did. When I put them under the coin scope, we had some plastic between the middle of the base of the scope so it didn't scratch them up. And, he was okay with all this, so they are fine. Just got to make sure you wear your brand new gloves, not used ones, brand new ones, that you get out to go through something like this, because you do not want your grubby, sweaty fingers getting all over this beautiful stuff. Guys, do me a favor, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. It's very important to me. It definitely helps me out. And we will see you in the very next video, guys. Thank you so much for watching.